Like he's slowing down. Teflon Tom has been in the news a lot lately, recently appearing in an episode of LeBron's show, The Shop, and last night appearing on the Late Late Show with James Corden. Take a listen to what he had to say.
It's hard to walk away from something that, you still feel like you can do and you want to do. So It's not about proving it to others,
right,
what you could do. It's more about proving it to yourself. And I still feel like, even though I'll be 44 this year, I still have a chance to still prove it to myself that I can still do it at 44, because I've really worked to a point where I can, still do it at this age.
The most important promises are the ones you make to yourself. Brady, a little more in the public eye since leaving Foxborough. Kimberly Martin. Hey, lady, how we doing? It's been a minute since we've seen you as well.
Hello, guys. Hello, Molly.
Good to see you. We will get to you in a minute. I'm going to start with Stephen A. Kimberly. What do you value more, Stephen A.? Would you say it's the Patriot way or is it the Brady way?
I was going to say it's the Brady way. That's what I value more. I mean, the reality of the situation is the Patriot way had a lot to do with him winning, but bottom line is he had a lot to do with the Patriot way being the Patriot way. So, because he did things his way. And what I mean by that is his level of dedication, his focus, his zeal, his commitment to winning, to inspiring and galvanizing his teammates to maximize the potential that exists within all of them. That's a Brady way. That's not a Patriot way. And we saw that last year in Tampa Bay. He had something to do with that. The Patriot way comes from winning. In other words, they won, so we just coined the phrase the Patriot way. But that's not what we were saying when they was gone. We weren't saying that. We were talking about Brady way. We talking about TB12. We were talking about a dude that was supposed to be done. It was a cliff, then it was a ravine, then it was a combination of both. Before it was nothing. That's what we saw, because Tom Brady is Tom Brady. And so for me, when I think about him and his intestinal fortitude, his commitment to excellence, the fact that he never wavers in terms of his belief in himself, that it's always about the marathon, not the sprint, that it's about what happens at the end and who's holding that Lombardi trophy. To me, that's about Tom Brady. That ain't about the Patriot way, and I'll roll with that.
Well, Tom Brady is clearly having a good time now, going on The Shop and dropping expletives about other quarterbacks. Like, you want to stick with that expletive, right? And being more public-facing and showing more of his personality, which is certainly not the Belichick way, Patriot way. And the reason he and Belichick were such a good match was because a lot of guys have passion for the game, but their passion translated to preparation. They were both the most prepared. But I'm going to take that kind of preparation, that level of preparation, and call it the Patriot way, which Brady obviously had something to do with, but so did Belichick. Guys, the reason Brady can do this now at the age of 44, or last year 43, it's not just because of, his avocado ice cream or whatever, the way he takes care of his body and all that stuff. It's also because that's why he's still excellent. But it's also because he reached such legendary status that he could look around the league and say, I want to go to that team. Like a team that's totally ready to win if only they have a better quarterback. A team with a real good defense, an offensive line, skills position players everywhere you look, a good coach, everything. I want to go there. Right? He was put in that position because of the Patriot way. Because Tom Brady didn't play defense, and he didn't get to choose about, what team he wanted to go to when he went to the Patriots, drafted where he was. That was Belichick, who was a defensive coordinator and Super Bowl champion defensive coordinator before he was ever a head coach. Those were Belichick's game plans and strategies, which, of course, he and Brady put their heads together and were both very prepared. But that status is why he not only got to choose where he wanted to play for the most part, and it's a loaded team, but now all the veterans around the league. The way it is for LeBron when he joins a team. Hey, I'll play for less than I'll normally get. I'd like to stay with Tom Brady. That's why they could keep the whole team together. That Patriot way put him in a position to now do this. So I'm going to say the Patriot way.
All right, well, let me be the tiebreaker here because it's the Brady way. That's the only answer to this question. I'm sorry, Max, because the Brady way is the ultimate YOLO. I'm a bet on me. Show everybody I'm that dude. That is quintessential the Brady way. Because where else in the NFL have you seen a guy win multiple Super Bowls in one destination, and when he's discarded, say, you know what, all right, I'm gonna take my talents down to Florida and see what we can do there, and then come out of that situation and win another Super Bowl. At this age, nobody's done it. It is, now granted, nothing against Belichick, one of the greatest coaches ever, but the reason guys want to take less money the Patriot way, guys take less for the betterment of the team, it's because who's at quarterback? The same reason all the guys in Florida, in Tampa Bay, wanted to re-up and say, okay, we want to bring all 22 back. We want to run this back. It's because Brady is at the helm. So Belichick, great coach, but Tom Brady, and another thing, why is Tom Brady acting like he doesn't have anything to prove to anybody? His whole journey and story is about proving everybody wrong. So I'm not even buying what he's trying to tell the TV cameras. He knows he's the GOAT, and he's trying to make sure everybody knows it at the end of the day.
And who wouldn't want to do that? Who wouldn't want to emulate that?
Well,
exactly.
Right. I agree with what you said about Brady, but he was put in that position not only by himself, but also the team to which he was drafted and built by Belichick all those years. That's why he had the status and the gravitas where he could point to a team and he gets to play there. Why everyone else wants to play with him, because they're playing with a legend. Now, he did come through, and did the COVID year have something to do with diminishing certain other teams? It doesn't matter, because his team was exposed to all the same stuff everyone else was. I give him credit for that. Joe Montana didn't win a Super Bowl, but back in the day went to an AFC championship game right away with the Chiefs after he'd done all that, in San Francisco, showing that, no, it's not just Walsh, it's also Joe Montana. And clearly Brady did that and then some. There's no two ways about that. The fact of the matter remains he played two teams, one the Packers, who were having guys out on their offensive line, and then the Chiefs. Clearly that wasn't the Chiefs, and he won the Super Bowl. It's to his credit, but to pretend that he wasn't put in that position by the team he played on is not honest. Well, he was put in that position because he was a six-time champion.
Can we retort? Can we retort?
Who's
because what
you?
position was the Patriots in before Tom Brady arrived? I recall Drew Bledsoe being their quarterback, and he was the face of the franchise, and there was still huge question marks about what they were going to do. He gets injured after suffering a hit against the Jets. Tom Brady comes up in there. Drew Bledsoe comes back, but Bill Belichick says no more. I'm not going away from this brother right here who happened to be Tom Brady. And Tom Brady guided them to a Super Bowl and a level of dominance of which we have never seen on an NFL level in the league's history. That's what we're seeing. So I get what you're talking about, Max, in terms of the Patriot way. My question would be, although we can't take anything away from the greatness of Bill Belichick, we also have to pay homage to the fact that Tom Brady has everything to do with the Patriot way. It wasn't something he adopted. It's something he created.
I think
maybe in concert with Bill Belichick, of course, but it's something he played a role in creating. And so because of that, that's why we have to pay attention to what's happening here in Tampa, because of people who want to come play for him, the sacrifices they're willing to make just to be a teammate of his. Let's see what Bill Belichick is able to do in New England without him.
What gets me about Max is he seems so unimpressed by what we just saw Tom Brady do. That is what is shocking to me. Because after what we saw in 2020, from COVID to them winning the Super Bowl, the Brady way is living your best life. All of a sudden, we see Brady has a personality. All of a sudden, we're seeing Brady, he's actually funny. He's a funny, sarcastic dude. And all those years in Foxborough, we didn't get to see any of that. Why? Because the Patriot way was nobody say anything, nobody be in the locker room, nobody answer questions, everybody this is what we're doing out here. And now Brady is in Tampa living it up and showing everybody that all along, while Belichick is great, this is to be that good Imagine being able to go to a whole new team, no off-season prep. A GM and a head coach say, we still value you. What do you want? You want Gronkowski? Cool, we'll bring him in. You want AB? Cool, we'll bring him in. And that situation happens because Brady's at the center of it.
Yes, and Brady's at the center of it because of everything he's accomplished, and a lot of that was Belichick. That's the point. If the question is the Brady way or the Patriot way, and both those ways are extreme preparation and greatness, one is publicly facing you can't have fun, and the other is public, yeah, you can still have fun. I'm not going to argue that you can't have fun in front of the public sometimes in a way that Belichick